It is Thursday, April 23rd. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. And SP3, we've been told we can't talk about basketball until the end of the show. Now, that's the mandate from management, and I guess we have to listen to it? I don't know.
Wait, who's management?
Management is the Canadian on this show. He said that talking about basketball is better at the end instead of the beginning. So if everybody wants to tune out for the first hour where we're going to talk about wrestling, which is dumb, you're free to do that. And then we will jump into basketball at the end of the show. Should we revolt against management? Like, I mean,
I'm not gonna say anything. You know, I'm the third host here. I have no veto power. Y'all guys ruined my C-suite, my whole gimmick that I was doing here on Thursdays when I first started. I'm not gonna say anything. I already offended Joel because I said I wanted to review Ye's Bully. And I did say I understood where he's coming from, but I was talking about reviewing it with Jeremy, someone who isn't from the culture that he insulted and offended.
I mean, I was still pretty insulted by what
I mean, everybody should be insulted by the ignorance that Kanye West was saying, but I think we could still review his album.
I only listened to it once. Like, I didn't think, all right, we're gonna now he's gonna be mad that we're talking about this album to start the show instead of basketball. He's like, go back to basketball. Yeah.
This is how we counteract.
Like, all right, I take it back. Go back to basketball.
Hey, we didn't talk about basketball. You told us not to talk about basketball. We're not talking about basketball.
We're going to put the disclaimer of Kanye seems like a terrible person. He said some horrible, horrible things, and no one should talk about, no one should think that our musical review of him in any way endorses what he has said over his lifetime. So I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. Yes, I put seems because I don't know him personally. He said some terrible things. I can say that with a matter of fact. He seems like a terrible person based on what he has said. Don't know him personally. That's why I say seems. You know, I don't want to get fully in trouble here. I listened to the album once. I thought it was better than anything recent that he's done.
Yeah.
And that's about the best praise that I can give.
It's like somewhere between not as terrible as Vultures 2, and I mean, Vultures 1 was better than Vultures 2, but it's better than that as well. The Donda albums I only listened to once. I thought Donda 1 was okay, and I thought Donda 2 was horrible. So it's better than any of his last 4 albums, but still not even close to the College series or My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Not as, basically influential as 808s and Heartbreak. I recently listened to Yeezus. Yeezus is so much better than Bully. Life of Pablo's 1,000 times better than Bully. But
I haven't listened to Yeezus in a while. I remember like really not liking that album, and then I've just kind of never gone back to.
I would say go back to it, especially after I listened to Bully, because I listened to it after I listened to Bully, because I heard a lot of people saying that that it was very kind of a riff. Well, it was a mixture of different stuff from his catalog, whether it be the Chipmunk sound from College Dropout, which I got initially, and that's why I did give it a favorable review over on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, because it had some of those College Dropout kind of vibes and Late Registration type of production on a few songs. And then I heard a lot of people saying that it had Yeezus, Yeezus type sound to it as well. So I went back and listened to Yeezus, and I was like, yeah, this is actually a good album. This is not a bad album. Like, I would say the last 4 albums that he had was probably like the worst of Kanye. This is somewhere in between his best stuff, his good stuff, and then his bad stuff.
I like the production on this album. The production was definitely leagues above what it's been the past few albums. Like this felt like more classic Kanye production. Lyrically, I've never been like super impressed with Kanye. Now, don't get me wrong. Like the early stuff, like he was actually saying some stuff.
Yeah.
The most recent stuff, he's unfortunately been saying some stuff. But this one felt like very just dry lyrically. Like I don't remember like a single line.
It did not sound like he was like that passionate on this album. Like this, like him really kind of going through the motions on a few songs. This album does have a peak. Like I really enjoyed Father and Brothers and Sisters. Anytime Kanye talks about his family, it can go one of two ways. It could be a Hey Mama or Roses, or it can be Cousins. So this was closer to Hey Mama and Roses than it was to Cousins, with the songs that were about family and stuff on this album. So I would say that this is better than like his last 4 albums, but not as good as like his best work or even his very good work in his catalog. Even though, like I said, I will say it again and I'll say it for Jeremy, I don't agree with anything that Kanye says. He seems like a very disturbed or just horrible individual from the things that he has said and his views that he has. But as an artist, I feel like as like the hip hop rap genre, he has one of the greatest catalogs of all time. I'm the type of person that can kind of try my best at times. I will address what they are doing and what they are saying as an individual, but I like to look at it also as an artist. I've gone back and watched Chris Benoit matches, and Chris Benoit did even more horrible things than anything you want to say Kanye has done. But I can look at his work and be like, he was a great professional wrestler. And with Kanye West, I can look at his catalog and say, this is one of the greatest catalogs in the history of hip hop and rap. And if we can go back to the time of his prime, which was 2004 through 2016, which is one of the longest primes you could really say in the hip hop genre ever. That was a pre-2016 was before he started saying all this ridiculous stuff that made people hate him because of how horrible he was being and how he was kind of like just completely harassing people and just saying just abhorrent things. So if we can go back to that time, I would love to talk about Kanye then, but now it's very difficult to talk about him in what he's doing as an artist without acknowledging what he said in real life.
Yeah. There's your Kanye Bully review, everybody. If you're still here after that, leave a thumbs up on the video. Everybody tuned out and they're like, why are they talking about this dude? I don't know. Subscribe to the channel.
This is what you get, Joel, for telling us trying to dictate what we're talking about on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All I wanted Joel to do was do a listen party to the Drake album when it comes out on whatever day. May 15th, is that the day that it comes out? That's where the ice melted, right? That's what happened. I just wanted Joel to listen along to the Drake album when it comes out so he could review it live, but he's a coward. Ryan sends us a super chat. Happy birthday, Ryan. He says, just quickly popping in as I finish my slice of B-Day carrot cake. Appreciate y'all, weeders and friendos. Appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you. Hope you have a great birthday. Enjoy the carrot cake. Enjoy the fucking, because that's what us Lamberts do. And I hope you have a great day, buddy. That's the bit, SV3. Ryan knows. Mm-hmm. Did you see this Ric Flair interview yesterday with Helwani?
I've just been seeing the quotes. I did not take the time. Anytime I see Ric Flair has an interview, they're like, they're not worth my time. But I've seen some of the quotes. I've seen that he wasn't invited to WrestleMania 42 because he threatened to beat up Ludwig Kaiser.
No. Hold on. He threatened to beat up Tiffany Stratton's 24-year-old Englishman husband. Get it right. That's who he threatened to beat up. Not Ludwig Kaiser. We don't know that for certain, but Tiffany Stratton's 24-year-old Englishman husband.
Which is definitely not Louis Kaiser because of he's not.
It's not. It's
no longer.
None of those words.
And neither 24. That's
none of those words actually describe Ludwig Kaiser. He's not 24. He's not Tiffany Stratton's husband. He's not an Englishman. None of them describe Ludwig Kaiser. This interview was hilarious. Ric Flair is so... He's gone. Like, I don't think he's drunk in these interviews. I just think that's his natural state. Like, I just think he wakes up and he's blowing. Like, he's over the limit on when he's tested immediately. Is like, Rick's like, I haven't had a drink today. What do you? How did I not pass a sobriety test? Well, how much you have last night? Oh, okay, all right. Like, that's just where he's at. It's so funny though. So yes, he claims that he was not invited to WrestleMania this year because last year he threatened a 24-year-old Englishman who may or may not be Tiffany Stratton's husband over what was said because of the promo exchange between Tiffany and Charlotte last year. And so he was going to fight him. And he's like, this dude ran to Hunter and he got me banned and everything. Like, look, I don't think Kaiser went to Triple H and was like, I'm really worried about Ric Flair. He's going to come fight me and beat me up. Like, you can't have this guy in the building. This seems more of like Kaiser's going to Triple H and be like,
come get your boy.
Yeah, this guy, he's sending me these messages. You might want to just like check him because if he shows up and like actually tries something, I'm probably going to put him in a coma. And I don't think anybody wants that.
Like, that might be bad for my career.
I don't know if Kaiser's like a shooter or anything, but he's 40 years younger than Flair. He's in incredible shape. He trains with like good grapplers and everything. I feel like if Flair just like took a step towards him, Kaiser could just like, step away, shove him down. It's like Pedro Martinez and Don Mattingly. Just like, all right, let me just shove you down right fast. And that would be that. So I think that was more if he just went to Triple H and was just like, hey, this is kind of happening. Maybe keep an eye on it. And then WWE was like, yeah, you can't show up if you're like still threatening to try to fight this guy. But the funnier part of this was like Hawani's like, oh yeah, he's in Mexico now, and Flair's like, I hope he stays there. And he's not going to be anything. He's not going to be anything in his career and everything. And then later he goes on and he's like, oh, I love what Undertaker's doing in AAA. He's doing so great, and he should be taking over for Triple H after, if Triple H wants to leave or step down, it should be the Undertaker. What he's doing in AAA is so great. Hawani should have followed up and be like, do you know who the biggest star is in that company?
Who's the biggest babyface over there?
Yeah. Like, so you love...
he'd be like, yeah, that old Grande Americano guy, he's doing great stuff.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like, do you know who El Grande Americano is? He's a 24-year-old Englishman.
Apparently. To you, he is. Hello.
Oh, Harlem.
Dropping ice cream.
Oh, no.
You just went to the show? Say hi to Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
How are you, Harlem? What kind of ice cream do you have?
Chocolate.
What
Chocolate?
type of ice cream is it?
Banana.
And
Vanilla
the
baby.
Chocolate fell off. The chocolate fell off.
The chocolate fell off.
Yeah. All right. You just wanted to show off your ice cream? You're not gonna give me none, are you? You just want to show off your eating ice cream? Oh, now you want to hear it?
Yeah.
I did.
Hi, Harlem. How are you? How's your ice cream?
Yummy.
Yummy? That's good. That's good.
Yummy.
Do you have more ice cream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
The GOAT, Harlem.
Apparently.
She's eating ice cream, man. Let her live. You know?
I have to find a way to throw out this chocolate before it melts on my desk.
Yeah, that's probably not good. Yeah. You gotta get some paper towels or something. Oh,
Yeah, I have it in a tissue, but it's gonna still melt in the tissue.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So Flair. His comments about Kaiser were just very funny to me. I think
it was.
Just let him.
It was.
Let Flair show up and just like see what happens. Who cares? Just let him show up to AAA and just see if he even knows who Grande Americano is. He's gonna see both of them, and he's gonna be like, "All right, I know, but like, there's two of you. Hold on, here.
Which one do I punch?"
Yeah." Alexa Bliss Gamer saying Ric Flair said he hates Charlotte. I'll defend Rick a little bit here in that he's like, I didn't like Charlotte's WrestleMania match. She should be in a singles match. If it's not for the title, then who cares? I think
he also did cry during her entrance.
Yeah. I think he just wants to like see his daughter in like 20-minute matches for the titles, which like fair. We should all want that for our children, like. Yeah. I mean, look, the moment with Charlotte and Alexa and that whole match was cool and everything, but
and let's be honest, guys, it wasn't a good match.
No, it wasn't good. The whole thing was just about Paige's. It was about Paige's return. That was it. Like that was the moment. But yeah, he always praises Charlotte. It's always like. She's the best female ever. She's the best athlete ever. She's not even the best female. She's one of the best wrestlers ever. He wants to see her in the big title matches and everything. And he's basically saying like, hey, this 4-woman tag match where she's one of 8 doesn't really like live up to what she's done in the past and what she should be doing, in my opinion, right now. Like
he was really crying because she lost the Mrs. WrestleMania tag because she was in this matchup, and that's why he doesn't like it.
So I just I understand where Rick's coming from there. He did clarify. He's like, I was happy to see her team with Alexa, her friend, and he's like, I just wanted to see her in a women's match, which okay and fair. Like I don't begrudge Rick too much for that. Could he have said it a little bit better? Sure, but it's Rick. I did love his tweet, the part 4 of his tweet where he said, "Please don't report something on me unless it's 100% true." Rick, no one is reporting this. These are your words, buddy. No one is like
they're transcribing what you said, sir.
And no one is like, I heard from a source that Ric Flair didn't like Charlotte Flair's match at WrestleMania 42. No, who was your source? Ric Flair's public comments? Like, that's the report. No one is reporting anything. These are words you said here, man. Come on now.
Hey, Ric Flair has an issue with words and their meanings, so kind of difficult.
So bless Rick. That interview was hilarious. Absolutely. He was trying to get Helwani in trouble. He's like, you can come down to this island with me. Leave your wife, come to this island, and you won't be back for months and weeks, and they'll be asking what happened to you. And Helwani's like trying to just like laugh this off, like, yeah, that sounds like a good time and everything.
Well, Helwani probably already got himself in trouble with the TKO Lords for his comments after WrestleMania.
Oh, I mean, he was just saying what anybody else says.
But I haven't seen someone from the state media go on that big of a tirade about everything, but still not get it right, because he's just like most WWE fans that were upset about WrestleMania, where they just want to put all the blame on TKO and just say, oh, my precious WWE, they're ruining it. They're ruining my precious WWE. Like, the problem isn't eternal as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a WWE problem as well. It's also an ESPN and TKO problem, but there's definitely some heavy. I mean, WWE can still control some things that they decide that they do not want to control. I do like so this report came out that Pat McAfee effectively just opted out of this story, which I don't blame him.
This is why we will remain to be vocal, remain to be basically tell our feelings on things, because man, if y'all were if wrestling fans lost their voice and didn't say how they really feel about certain things, TKO and WWE would have thought that everything was fine with the Pat McAfee inclusion in the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. But because the vocal fans use their voice, and all the pro WWE fans and pro WWE accounts and podcasters want to be like, oh, the internet wrestling community is not a real thing. The internet wrestling community not a real thing. They acknowledged everybody with Pat McAfee's comments in the internet wrestling community, and then Pat McAfee then backed out of the storyline because of the internet wrestling community. So much for that nonsense.
So did McAfee cost Orton the title then? Because I think Orton was supposed to win that match. I really think he was supposed to win that match, especially if the report was true that it was going to be Orton and McAfee against Jelly Roll and Cody at Backlash. That would dictate that Orton was supposed to win that match. Yeah. And of course, Orton didn't win that match, and then Pat isn't showing up and everything. So I think he cost Orton the title by backing out of this whole thing, because I guess Orton still could have won. And then this is where they could have done the double turn with everything. Is Orton hits the RKO on McAfee, so that's the end of McAfee, and now it wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense for him to turn right after Elimination Chamber and then turn back right after WrestleMania. But that was the match they were working anyway. So Orton hits they basically worked the match the same way. But instead of going down with the crossroads, he escapes, he hits the RKO, he wins. Cody attacks Orton after the match. Cody's a heel, Orton's a babyface. Go from there. And then McAfee's out of the picture because Orton turned on him. And you move on from that. So they still could have gotten out of it with Orton still winning. But it also feels like they didn't want to do that. And I think it's kind of evident they didn't want to do that because they kept Orton a heel based on that post-match attack. So I kind of think that Orton I think McAfee opting out kind of cost Orton this 15th championship here.
I wouldn't be surprised by that theory if that theory winds up being true, because I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Everybody told them it wasn't good. The people in the company didn't think it was good at all either. Like, if it was just the fans didn't like it, I think there's a chance that Pat McAfee would have continued doing or WWE would have continued using McAfee in this storyline, and we would have got that discussed Backlash tag team matchup with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee. But it was because not only were the fans vocal about not liking Pat McAfee's inclusion, you also had people within the back, people on the roster who weren't happy with his inclusion in the storyline, and WWE gave them the freedom to go on interviews and say they didn't enjoy his inclusion in the storyline. So I feel like all of that was too much pressure, and Pat McAfee's like, I don't need this. I got a ESPN paycheck. I gotta negotiate my new deal for the Pat McAfee show. What the hell do I need this for?
I also think McAfee is smart enough. I know people don't want to give McAfee credit for being smart, but like, you don't get to the point he is and where he's at if you don't have some type of wits about you. We said this before WrestleMania, is they have to know this is not good. Like, McAfee has to know that this is not good and it's not working. And like, I don't think that he fully wants to wants to be like, yeah, the business sucks, ticket sales are down. Is it like McAfee loves wrestling? He loves
Exactly.
WWE. Like
He loves.
I don't think.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
he
fair,
doesn't love
fair.
wrestling. He
Fair,
loves
fair.
WWE. Yeah,
Fair.
he loves WWE, and he did not. Yeah, I don't think he wanted to really say any of that type of stuff, but they had to make him the heel. It was basically like a desperate ploy because, and I know all the information came out when McAfee debuted. It was like, oh, this is all Ari Emanuel and TKO's fault. Oh, it's all them. I don't believe that TKO is writing the script for Pat McAfee to say all of this. I feel like it still is WWE Creative who came up with this promo for McAfee to say to address fan complaints and to make him the heel, because the whole purpose of McAfee being involved was, one, to sell more tickets, and two, to finally get Randy Orton some heat, because he turned heel and everybody was cheering him over the top babyface in the promotion. So they wanted to give him a heel promo that addressed the fan complaints and made him the heel, which would generate and give Orton the rub of getting the same heat. They were able to accomplish that at times, but whenever Orton was out there alone, he got cheered. So
yeah. So A-Shock saying, even though TKO is in charge of creative, so look, I listened to that clip. I even tried to like go to the person who moderated that whole thing to try to get like full verification on that clip. I never heard back. I think it's true. I don't think it's like AI or anything, but you could never be too sure with these things nowadays. I was also wondering if there was like more to it, more context and everything. I don't think TKO is in charge of creative like that. And I think people are kind of mishearing what was actually said in that clip, because they read the caption, and of course the caption says, oh, TKO says they're in charge of creative. And so they've already made up their mind what has been said in the clip of, oh, they're in charge of creative. Now the question is, like, do you guys have charge of creative and everything? And the way Shapiro answers it makes it seem like he's giving a yes to that. But it is more an overarching yes of, hey, if we want to insert this celebrity here, like, we're going to insert this celebrity. If we want to try to move this company or move this show to this platform, we're going to do that. We're in charge of that kind of stuff. Like, we have say over that. I don't think TKO actually cares what's happening with the women's tag team titles, and they are like, hey, I don't know about Nia and Lash winning this match. What can we do here to get them? Like, they're not that in the weeds when it comes to creative. But if they see a good integration opportunity with, hey, let's get McAfee involved. Okay, here's McAfee. What are we doing? That's for you guys to figure out. You figure out what you're doing with McAfee. Okay, then we're gonna put them in this storyline. Let's get Jelly Roll involved. Well, that's for you guys. You figure out what we're doing with Jelly Roll. I think that's the extent of TKO, which is obvious and not out of the realm of, I don't want to say not out of the realm of ordinary, because do we need these celebrities always involved to this level? I don't know. But it's very obvious that they've made these calls of like, hey, we want to get this person involved to boost ticket sales, boost interest, whatever it might be. And then it is up to Triple H and the creative, like, okay, how do we use these people? But listen to the full thing. Actually try to understand the full clip and the full answer, and not just the question of, hey, how involved are you in creative, and the initial answer of, we control all of it, because it is not. That's not what he's actually answering. Is that one little question? That's not what he's actually answering. That's just my thought on it.
No, I agree with you. And it was Top Guy JJ made a good point when we were reviewing Raw this week. And it basically works like if you have like a 9-to-5 job, like JJ, he runs a store. He runs a store in New York. And if everything's going well, he gets to run the store however he wants to. But if something goes wrong, the numbers ain't looking right, there is a general manager of all the stores that comes in and basically be like, okay, we got to change this, and that. because stuff is not looking right numbers wise. That is basically how TKO works. If Triple H was doing his job and doing it as well as he was doing it the first couple of years he was in charge, TKO would not be involved in anything creatively. But because Triple H has had an 18-month run where creatively it's either one of a couple of options. He got lazy. He doesn't have the creative juices that y'all all thought. I can't say y'all all thought he had, or stuff went wrong, injuries happen, and it's everybody else's fault, and it's not Triple H's fault. Whatever reason you want to believe, things weren't going right, and numbers went down, and TKO stepped in. If things were going right, if things were going great creatively, if the numbers were still there, I think that they wouldn't get involved as creatively as they have been in the last especially the last 2 years, it seems like.
I mean, maybe, but corporations love just stepping in and screwing things up, even if things are going very well. And they also look at it, and I think this is a little unfair to WWE in some sense, of like, they were at such a high numbers, we're always going to go down. It's impossible to just keep going up. But
it's also a case of TKO's in debt. So they wanted to keep going up.
Yeah, but again, it's just impossible. You have to look at it kind of without wanting to immediately step in. It's like, okay, things are down, but what are the reasons for it? Can we expect like an upswing after this down period? And if we can't, how much do we need to step in? Because they've stepped in now, like you said, 2 straight years on these things, and like what they've done hasn't really worked, honestly. Like, it's not like last year bringing in The Rock didn't fully work. Like, yeah, you got a boost of it for
it generated interest, and it made the John Cena heel turn great. But that I don't blame on TKO. That was Triple H
the heel turn
who messed up the follow up.
Yeah,
that's on Triple H to make the follow up as good as when TKO ejected it, and they made that John Cena turn bigger than it was gonna be by calling in The Rock and Travis Scott to be a part of it. So
for sure, the follow up wasn't good. Now I'll give Triple H a little bit of leeway here. Of what did he know? Did he think he was going to have Travis Scott for more appearances? Did he think he was going to have The Rock for more appearances? Like, if he did, then maybe he was thinking one thing, and then he had to reverse course or change course and do something else. Again, was it good? No, I'm not. We talked about this ad nauseum last year. I'm not going to rehash all of this, but it's never as black and white of, oh, it's 100% this guy's fault. There's always a little bit of blame.
I'm saying everybody. Yeah, I'm saying everybody deserves blame, but it seems like there are certain sections of fans that want to either blame just TKO, just Triple H. I'm saying that everybody's to fault in all of this.
If McAfee did decide, like, you know what, this ain't working, this ain't what I want to do, I don't think this is what you guys want to do, let me be out on this, then I'll give him some credit there. I don't think it really helped them, the McAfee stuff. It boosted ticket sales because they put it on 25% off. They could have just done that in general. They didn't need this whole angle to do 25% off night 1 ticket sales. They could have just announced that and been like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go to buy these night 1 tickets. They could have done it for night 2 too, instead of being like 25% off for night 1. Who cares about night 2? That card's ass. Literally called it ass.
Yes.
They could have just done like, hey, 25% off.
That's why that whole thing about, McAfee went off script in the first promo, that was him going off script. That was McAfee's fault. So what happened to the next promo when he said night 2 was going to be ass and don't just get night 1? Like, how many times can you really believe someone is going off script and still being handed a mic?
Yeah. So, but good on McAfee if he decided to actually opt out, and now maybe more WWE wrestlers will be on his show, since there was nobody on his show leading up to this show. I think they missed out on that because I think having the wrestlers on McAfee's show is going to generate more interest than having McAfee on the WWE show, honestly. But
yeah, I mean, most of the wrestler interviews, especially the ones that were about, you know, pushing their matches at WrestleMania, heading into WrestleMania, were better than the stuff we were seeing on television.
Yeah. All right, let's get into All Elite Wrestling's Dynamite. I will go ahead and say it. We'll start off with this, SP3. I've been listened to. I've been heard. Clearly, someone in that company heard my complaints about Will Ospreay, and they said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to kill this man, and then we're going to have him kidnapped by the Death Riders, and then Samoa Joe returns next. Ospreay took on Mark Davis. It was a really great match. And then I said it yesterday. I was ready to be pre-mad about Ospreay kicking out of the close your eyes and your neck is broken. And he hit it. Ospreay got the foot on the ropes. I was fine with that. I was fine with the foot on the ropes. I was ready to be mad again after he hit the pile driver on the apron, and I thought
because all the time when he gets hit with the pop-up power driver and he gets his foot on the rope, I know, like me, you were thinking, oh, Ospreay's probably gonna make a reversal, hit the hidden blade, and get the win.
I was getting ready to be mad, SP3. After he hit that pile driver on the apron, I was like, I swear to God, if he gets back in this ring and wins this match, I'm not watching this company anymore. I refuse to watch this company if he gets hit with that pile driver on the apron and gets back in the ring and win the match. And then they did the referee stoppage. I was like, this is the greatest booking. Forget everything. Forget everything they did last week. Forget everything they did last week with Darby. That was good. This was way better than all of that. Like, this is the greatest booking decision they've ever made, and I'm taking full credit for it, by the way, because of what I said last week. And Ospreay clearly heard those words and was like, you know what? I can't be a superhero all the time. I have to. I have to show some actual vulnerability. I was like, yes, thank you, William. I appreciate you. I respect you. You are the greatest wrestler in the world. You're better than Kenny Omega, who's washed in Klay Thompson. You, Will Ospreay, are the Michael Jordan of professional wrestling. All thanks to this one moment. Thank you, Ospreay.
Excellent matchup with Ospreay and Mark Davis here. I thought Ospreay did a great job of making Mark Davis look like an absolute killer. The chop lariat with Ospreay sitting on the top rope was ridiculous. Ospreay landing on the back of his head. Ospreay's like comebacks were really well done throughout the matchup, and his selling was great throughout the matchup as well. And then I love the finish. The finish took this over the top, and I was like, oh, this is an excellent match. This is definitely match of the night. And then that only lasted for like 30 minutes. But this was absolutely brilliant stuff with this finish. It set up well last week with the Hechicero matchup, where I got annoyed. One of my big nitpicks about that matchup, even though I love that matchup as well, was the doctor getting in the ring and checking on him and then checking on him on the outside. And I thought that took way too long and took away from the momentum and the pacing of the matchup. This was well paced. It built up to the final spot with the pop-up power driver and then the second power driver on the apron. I thought Nigel and Don Callis were great on commentary. The other two guys were there, and Ospreay sold it perfectly. He sold it like it was death, and then the doctor saying he doesn't have any feeling in both of his hands, and then calling for the referee stoppage. I thought that was a great finish. Do I think that Ospreay should be losing this much if he plans on main eventing Wembley Stadium? No, but this is the right way for him to lose. He did not get pinned. He did not get submitted. It was basically he wasn't physically able, and he's going to have to take a break now. He's going to have to take at least a week off. And then the post-match was very interesting in that it felt like they were reverting course and getting the Death Riders back on the course that they were before Will's return, of being this kind of like tweener stable, the abduction and taking Will away. It can either work as the Ministry of Darkness. It can work as them trying to put Ospreay on the right track, trying to rehabilitate him. I'm interested. I think I'm very interested in that. My only nitpick to any of this is honestly the fact that right after that they did a backstage interview with Will Ospreay's wife, which they have reference on camera. If they never reference it on camera, I'm totally fine with this being the next segment, but you can't have that be the next segment and not address the fact that she just saw her husband to be almost get murdered and get abducted.
Yeah, I have two on that. One was they see Ospreay get taken away, and it's just like, oh, Will Ospreay's just been taken away. Samoa Joe's in action next. He's returning. Samoa Joe's back. I was like, yeah, great way to like sell that Will Ospreay has just been abducted here. And then yes, the Windsor promo coming back. It's not only that they've acknowledged it on camera. Literally like 2 weeks ago, she's fighting side by side with Will. Oh, it's not even like, hey, by the way, they're like dating and stuff. And yeah, MJF made reference.
Gerald J mentioning it's also the interviewer's husband.
Yeah. They should have just stood there like awkwardly, like staring at each other. I'm just like,
it should have been a moment. It would have been a hilarious moment of do you want to address that, or do you want to talk about the Tekla thing?
Yeah,
let's just talk about the Tekla thing. All right, cool. All right, we're back.
I would have appreciated that more. I'm like, all right, you know what? At least they acknowledged it. This was just like, Tekla, I'm coming after you. Jamie Hayter's hurt, and Persephone comes like, I got a new friend. I don't really care what happened to my husband. Like, look at my new best pal, Persephone. Like, yeah.
You say beat the piss out of you in Spanish.
Yeah, the timing on that was so terrible. I was like, come on. Remember the Death Rider stuff? I used to complain about this all the time with the Death Rider stuff because Moxley would come out and like murder somebody and everybody's like, what's up with John Moxley? And it's like, to the back with Renee Paquette. And they're just like, her husband just like tried to take over the show and kill people. And you're just like, hey, Renee, please interview Luchasaurus now. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. You gotta throw to Marvez or Lexi in that scenario, not Renee, who's just watching her husband kill people out here and try to like tear down the entire company. It didn't make any sense then. This didn't make any sense. I think it was a pre-tape. It doesn't excuse of like, don't put it at that point in the show.
Exactly.
Put it earlier in the show. That's it.
Not immediately after it. Like, I don't. Maybe it
yeah,
come after,
not immediately after it. No, it's
immediately after it is ridiculous.
No, yeah, you can't put it immediately after, but I don't think you could do it at any point after the whole thing. Like, no, you can't air it later. It doesn't make sense later either, because then you're still thinking like, why is Windsor there? Why is she talking to Renee? Like, shouldn't she have like other thing? Air it earlier. It doesn't seem that hard to air it earlier in the show, and then you avoid any type of criticism of this.
Sure.
Yeah, immediately after was really, really bad.
It was hilarious, but bad. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was very hilarious. Yeah, the fact that it wasn't addressed or anything, it was just, here's my new pal. Yay. They couldn't have had Hayter in her place because Hayter's not cleared. So yeah, it couldn't. Yeah, Hayter's not cleared. That's what they said.
Yeah, they said that in the promo. They said that Hayter's not cleared after Dynasty.
Yeah, so couldn't do that. Yeah, they should have run it earlier in the show. That's it. But otherwise, I thought this was good. So you seem to be on the board with the Death Riders are effectively saving Ospreay, not kidnapping him. Okay.
Yes, they saved him from himself. Not just Mark Davis, they saved him from himself as well. So I would hope that they still have him in captivity next week on Dynamite, or at least on Collision, air something of, we got footage of what happened to Will Ospreay after he was taken by the Death Riders, and he's like tied up somewhere backstage, and we have to hear John Moxley monologue telling him, he was like, haven't you learned?
They're gonna show Ospreay like a bunch of like Johnny Saint tapes and be like, knock off all of this like high flying, high spot bullshit. Here's how you need to wrestle. Look at this great technical mat work that Johnny Saint is out here doing. That's what they're going to show Ospreay. Like, quit putting your neck at risk over here. All right, grab a headlock. Nice little takeover here. Transition into a hammerlock. Duck the back elbow. Come into grab the leg sweep takedown. Into a knee bar, back into the headlock, and then hold on to the headlock for 20 minutes. You'll be fine. You don't need to do, let me fall on my neck and let me do this dive to the outside. Just grab a headlock, buddy. That's the tapes they're going to show Ospreay.
Headlock takeover. Just do it. Just do it.
That's what I want to see. That's how you save them. You want to save them. That's how you save them. Yeah, Gresham comes in. And Gresham comes in like, I was number 11 in the PWI in 2024. Here's what you need to do. I love Gresham. Mind you, I just wanted to make that reference. I don't think it's 2024. I think it was actually like way later.
It's 2022.
That was it was like 2022.
Wasn't that what he said to Tony before he got
exactly. Yeah. Gresham just comes in and does all of that. Yeah, I would like to see them just bring in Gresham. Like, look, mat wrestling, buddy. They bring in Zach Sabre Jr.
Zach Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Here's your peer.
Listen, dickhead. This is what you got. This is how you got to start wrestling. Like,
he's like, I've always known you were a dickhead. I didn't know you could get yourself in this situation. Kidnapped by the Death Riders.
That's how we save Will Ospreay out here.
From himself.
Yeah. No one remembers Lee Moriarty's on the roster. I like Lee Moriarty, but he's been the peer champion allegedly
for 2 years.
He's been the peer champion for like 5 years, I swear.
He won it in 2024 during their residency at freaking the sports arena, esports in Arlington, Texas.
Is that when he won it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's been
at Death Before Dishonor 2024. That's legit.
Yeah.
We're going on Death Before Dishonor 2026, y'all.
Yeah, he's had that title forever. What can you do? Show opened with MJF wanting his title back. He keeps calling it the Seattle screw job. And he was mad at Aubrey. He was mad at Darby. He was mad at Tony. He's mad at everybody that he didn't have this title. Kevin Knight came out and they set up a match between Kevin Knight and MJF for the TNT Championship next week. Do we think MJF wins this TNT title next week?
No. He should get the better of him. I really loved this opening segment because MJF was so good. He was so good as the irate former heel champion who justifiably wasn't prepared and wants his title back, wants it to be handed over to him. He's blaming everybody but himself. He even acknowledged what I said last week, that he always thinks he's the smartest man in the room. He said that in fact he said that to Kevin Knight. I like Kevin Knight coming off where he can, like, if you listen to him and he didn't have the support of the fans, he could come off as a cocky heel, but he comes off as a very cocky or confident upstart champion who now has like that kind of like validation of winning a championship. And I love MJF's reasoning for winning the TNT championship. He said, like, he was like, the TNT championship, that's good for you, Kevin Knight. There's a ceiling on you. You're a good TNT champion, a workhorse, in fact. But you're not on AEW world title level, a title, because he's never won the TNT title. He's never even challenged for the TNT title as MJF. He's only challenged and gone after the AEW world championship. But Kevin Knight kind of saying that the lineage is of the people that have worked the hardest, that have gone on to the heights of the company, and the fact that he loves that title so much made MJF be like, I don't even want this title. I just wanted to screw with you because you're coming out here trying to stop my monologue, trying to stop me from getting to the AEW World Championship, bringing up their matchup where Kevin Knight did in fact have him pinned for like 30 seconds. and he said that he should be the AEW World Champion. And MJF's like, I already beat you. I have nothing to earn here by fighting you. But hey, put the TNT Championship on the line. And the fact that Max was in his gear made it believable that that was going to be the opening matchup, only for him to be like, you know what? Nope. Yeah, I said I don't wrestle unless I'm prepared, so I'll see you next week. All of this worked. This was MJF still being, despite not having the AEW World Championship anymore, he is still the best character on this show, and everything he does makes sense to what he's doing. And he always shows off his biggest flaw, which is his insecurity. His insecurity is his biggest flaw, and it's something that always comes back to haunt him. It came back to haunt him last week. He always accepts challenges that he really shouldn't, and he doesn't gain that much from. Like, why is he going after the TNT title if he just lost the AEW World Championship? It's his insecurity. It's all in his head. It's his hostility of people always downplaying the way that he wrestles and that he cheats to win and trying to downplay him because he views himself as the greatest wrestler in AEW, the greatest wrestler in the world. So anytime someone tries to push back against that, he gets very insecure and he does things off impulse.
So later in the night, MJF comes out after Darby is about to defend the title against Ciampa, and he wants his title back, everything, and Darby is like, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting your rematch right now, unless you put something on the line. And then MJF didn't really give an answer there, because I like that Darby said, "Get your ass out of my ring" when he was on the ramp.
I was like, you meant ramp?
Yeah. Because Ciampa came down. But what do we think MJF puts on the line? And it better not be his career.
No, it should be the Hangman stipulation. I'll never challenge for the AEW World Championship as long as I live.
So that makes some sense, because I kind of think, I said this yesterday when Joel said that next week's Dynamite is in Virginia. I was like, oh, Hangman's returning then, right? And then now we've got this Hangman Kevin Knight match, and so, okay, maybe Hangman does return here. Why does MJF put that on the, like, why does, I guess Darby kind of cares about that, but I can see it of MJF being like, all right, fine, I'll put the Hangman stipulation on. He can challenge for the title again. I feel it's a little weak to do that after like 2 months, honestly. Yeah. Like, if that's what
I don't want that. I want MJF to put that on the line.
What you want MJF to put what on the line?
Him ever challenging for the AEW World Championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not Hangman. I want him to have the Hangman.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I thought you were saying that.
No.
I've seen other people.
The Hangman thing needs to play its course. That's something that you can tell that story over a number of months, even years. You should have MJF put his title opportunity, ever going for the title again against Darby Allin, and then he wins, and then he could say is something else to add to his list of accomplishments. I'm the first guy who ever put his future as an AEW World Champion on the line and actually won. All the other guys, the guy that used to mentor me, he's gone from this company because he can never challenge for the title again. We haven't seen Hangman since I beat him, and he can never challenge for the title again. And now I'm a 3-time AEW World Champion, even though I put that on the line. And then it sets up other stories to play out, even though there was something else on the show where I'm like, I don't like that, because I think it's better if you work it over here. But we'll get to that. But yeah, and that's what I think he's gonna put on the line. That's the one that makes the most sense to me. Okay,
yeah. I do like that, and that's greater than Hara saying MJF's the heel, so even if he loses, because it's as Tony kind of said, it's just your word. There's no contract, so and MJF can just say he'll do this. Like, I think he's winning anyway, but he can just say he'll do this, and then be like, no, dummies, I'm not actually doing it. I'm challenging for the title whenever I want. Of course, I had my fingers crossed, so we don't need to do any of that. I'm not mad at that. and maybe this is what you were alluding to. I don't know if we need 2 stipulation matches at Double or Nothing that are, if we lose, we effectively can never do this again. Because that's the case with FTR and Christian and Cope, where if Christian and Cope lose, they will never team again. And then you have potentially...
It's because they said retire as a tag team.
Yes, as a tag team.
I am okay with that being the stipulation, but I think that basically the setup of all of this should be because I still want my Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay matchup. And like I said, I think I said this going into Dynasty or whatever. I think that we should have another MJF Kenny Omega matchup where Kenny puts his career on the line, because that was the whole story of Kenny being on a ticking clock of his career. So I think that should be the main event of like what is it called? AEW Redemption. Going into All In, it should be Kenny and MJF title versus career. But because I rewatched the segment and he said retire as a tag team, I understand is like them not teaming up ever again, which I'm fine with.
This is where if I'm FTR, I'm like, I don't care if you retire as a tag team. You guys didn't team up for like 10 years. Who cares about that? Like, no, I want you gone from this company. I want to deal with you at all out here. That's what I would hit back with. If I'm
be like, you must leave AEW.
Yeah. But then again, I don't know if you want to do too many stipulations of, you have to leave AEW, you have to retire as a tag team, you can never challenge for the title again. I mean, I guess the show is called Double or Nothing, so maybe every match should have a stipulation like that. You get a title, or you got to put a career or future or your future in some way on the line. Everybody's got to put something on the line at Double or Nothing. Maybe that's what we have to do for this. So the only match we have announced is Okada and Takeshita. Okay, Okada's putting on the international title on the line. Takeshi's got to put on his Don Callis family membership on the line. Although Takeshi probably just lose and be like, yeah, sure, I'm okay with losing this. I don't really lose anything out of this. Or Takeshi has to admit that Okada is better if he loses. So that's the stipulation for that. That's what Takeshi has to put on the line. And that we're gonna have a stipulation for everybody for Double or Nothing as the card starts to fill out. Okay.
Hey. Revolution was the highest drawing pay-per-view on HBO Max, mainly because of that Hangman Adam Page stipulation. So maybe they're adding those stipulations to Double or Nothing to break that record.
Yeah. Well, again, Double or Nothing, we are gonna come up with these stipulations. I don't care what they do on television.
It's a bet pay-per-view. It's all about betting. It's Double or Nothing, so it makes sense.
Exactly. We're going to come up with this throughout as the card starts to fill out here. All right, so MJF says MJF doesn't say anything. He doesn't say what he's going to put on the line. I like the idea of a future title shot. I like the way you set that up of he can do it, and then he can criticize Cody and Hangman because they couldn't do it. I think he should just put the scarf on the line because
the scarf is it's not worth anything. Like,
sure it is. It's a Burberry scarf.
It's a fake Burberry scarf. What are we
It's a Burberry scarf. It's worth a lot. I don't know why Darby would care about the scarf. But,
exactly. What would Darby care?
What if he puts up all of the diamond rings? He puts up all 8 of his diamond rings. He's like, is that his 6? I don't know how many actually he has.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he puts up all of them. And Darby can like melt them down and turn them into, I don't know, some type of, gold, but what does Darby care about gold, you know? I don't think he actually does care about that. What if he puts up his movie career, gets Darby into a bunch of movies? Yeah.
It should be a hair match. Luis is right. It should be a hair match. He puts his hair on the line.
Hair plugs?
He paid a lot of money for that hair.
Allegedly. Let's not cast assertions here. You know?
Hey, I spent a lot of money on my hair, getting haircuts.
He allegedly did that, but I don't know.
I'm not allegedly. I'm not saying anything. I didn't say what country he went to. I said he spent a lot of money. I've spent a lot of money on my hair throughout my lifetime.
That's fair. That's fair. What if he puts like he won't speak again on the line?
He can no longer speak for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Like that, Darby has to suggest that. He's like, I'm tired of you coming out here and running your mouth every week. You know what? You're not allowed to talk for an entire year. Put that on the line.
That might be something.
Yeah.
AEW loses his best talker.
If you don't do it now, you can do that later. You can do that as a later stipulation. You know, like that's what we can do. Just throwing it out there. Yeah. And then before this, Darby did have his promo where he was basically like, I'm going to kill myself in the ring, or I'm going to lose this title, whichever comes first, and I'm going to continue to fight every single week. And then here Neely killed himself in the ring against Tommaso Ciampa because...
And he nearly killed Ciampa as well.
Holy!
I knew these two guys would go out there and have a great match. This was fucking insane. Like they went hard. They went 110% the entire way from the opening. The big dive to the outside with Darby propelling himself over the barricade onto Ciampa, crashing through the table and busting Ciampa open. And man, I have never seen somebody run the blade like this after several years of not running the blade. I literally said to Trill I was like, you could tell Ciampa's been it's been chomping at the bit to run that blade because he cut himself open, the blood splattering onto the camera lens, and they keep it there for multiple different shots. Then the freaking air raid crash, the psycho driller off the top rope to the floor. Ciampa had me convinced that he broke his tailbone.
Same.
He broke.
Same.
I was like, oh, he broke his tailbone. They're gonna have to stop this matchup. And Ciampa's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't stop this match. Don't stop this. Yo, he was. Oh my God, Darby's just dead during all of this. It was so intense. It was full throttle, balls to the wall the entire way. And the key to this matchup to me is the final stretch, because I went into this matchup being like, Darby's definitely going to win this one. He definitely has to retain this one. But this is the key to making a great match, a memorable matchup. I always think about, I make reference to the Shawn Michaels Undertaker matchup from WrestleMania 25, where everybody and their mama going into that matchup were like, the Undertaker's gonna win, but everyone bit on the super kick towards the end of the matchup when Shawn pins him, and you're like, oh my God, can this be it? Can he end the streak? That's the key to that matchup, and why that matchup is still talked about all these years later. This matchup will be talked about in Dynamite lore because of that second knee strike. The second knee strike at the end, where I was convinced, I was like, wait, is this over? Like, he just hits him with the Project Ciampa after first knee strike, then he hits him with Project Ciampa, then hits him with a second knee strike, and the way Darby kicked out, and it was kind of like Ciampa pulled too far back on hooking the leg, and Darby just used that momentum to get off of his shoulder to get the 2 count. I see greater than say one too many kickouts. No, the last near fall is the key to this matchup, and why this matchup is going to be talked about at the end of the year as one of the best TV matches of the year because of that second pinfall, because that convinced many people, including myself, that could have been it. They're gonna end Darby's reign after 1 week. They're gonna put the title on Ciampa. That was the thoughts that were going through my damn head.
I definitely bit on the second knee strike as well. And I love the Ciampa cover where he was like kind of slow on it was just added to the drama of it. So, and then the Scorpion, like Darby like slipping on it. At first I was like, oh man, he just like locked it in terribly and he just looked bad on it. But then when I thought about it more in the context of the match, I was like, you know what? This actually kind of worked. The fact that he could not fully get it on and he just was not able to kind of keep his grip the entire time, and he slipped, and then he had to get up, kind of reposition and everything. I was like, you know what, that actually kind of worked. So I didn't mind it as much as I initially kind of did once I sat and thought about it for a second.
Yeah, and it's convincing of Ciampa tapping out to that because of the Psycho Driller to the outside with him breaking his tailbone, basically. Like, I'm like, oh, this is the worst thing that could have happened to Ciampa, the Scorpion, at this point.
I'm with you on the air raid crash to the outside and the way Ciampa was selling. I was like, oh shit, they gotta stop this match. That did not look good at all. The one thing they kind of clued is like the ref just did not care about Ciampa at all, to where like if he was actually hurt, I feel like the ref would have been like, oh okay, the ref is like, go away, like quit bugging me. I gotta check on Darby right now. I was like, all right, if he was like actually kind of hurt here, I feel like the ref would have a little bit more urgency to Ciampa, and he's not just like selling this whole thing. So that's the only thing that tipped me that like, all right, yeah, I don't think Ciampa is actually hurt, but
he's not that hurt.
yeah. And then they kind of did a little post-match hug. Brody came out and like next week, and Darby's like, all right. And the show ended like right at 10 o'clock. So clearly Warner Brothers hates AEW again because they did not give them a big overrun, right? That's the logic here.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
I think they didn't get a big overrun because of hockey. Because hockey was on I don't know. I don't think the game was on right after. Maybe it was. There was a 10 o'clock puck drop. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There was there was the Ducks and Oilers game was on right after. Yes, I know it was actually the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know that. It had nothing to do with the double collision taping, because they've had double collision tapings for the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And
but in Canada, I know that they have like a hard out or something like that in certain places in Canada that they had to stop, because that episode with MJF and Speedball as the main event, that also ended at 10 o'clock, and that wasn't because of the hockey after. That was because they had to do the double taping. So I think that's why that question was in there.
Well, they had a double taping last week, and they didn't.
Well, last week was also in not in Canada. So yeah, I think you're. No, what I'm saying, I think you're right, but I'm saying that's why they're asking that question about the double taping is because they did have that restriction of they have to end it at before midnight in Canada.
Gotcha. Okay, well, what I was saying is, I don't think it had anything to do with the double taping, because last week they had a double taping and they had an overrun last week. It was definitely the hockey stuff, because there was hockey on. There was hockey on at 10 o'clock. I was trying to think, because I knew the games were on TNT and True TV last night. I was trying to think if there was a TBS game, but I think Oilers Ducks was on TBS. The TNT game was the Stars and the Wild. So I think it was it had everything to do with hockey. So that's why it ended right at 10 o'clock. I didn't even realize that, again, the game was on TBS. I thought it just might have been, I thought it had to do with just hockey of, we don't want to go long on this because we do have this hockey game on our other program, and so we want people to like jump over to that, and they didn't want basically competing kind of stuff there. I thought it had more to do with that than there actually being a hockey game on TBS, but it makes way more sense that there was the hockey game on TBS, and that's why they had to end out at 10. So that's why you got the 10 o'clock end time, everybody. I like to say that Warner Brothers was just mad at AEW, and they're like, nope, we now hate this program. No more overruns for you guys, because I bless all the AEW fans, which is like 90% of our chat. It's very funny. It's very funny when they're like, 20-minute overrun for Dynamite. Clearly Warner Brothers loves AEW. Yeah, like, yes, clearly they do love AEW. You don't need a 20-minute overrun to prove that they love AEW, okay? Like, quit using that talking point. Knock it off with that. Just, there are so many other reasons to show that Warner Brothers and AEW have a great relationship. Having an overrun every single week which they do nearly every single week, does not prove that they have this really great relationship. I mean, it does. It doesn't hurt. But we don't have to say it every single week, okay? So now, when there's not an overrun, clearly Warner Brothers hates AEW. Jerks.
They shortened the overrun even last week because when they did that 30-minute overrun, it killed the rating. So they're like,
did it?
Yeah, it did. That's the only week out of like the last 5 or 6 weeks that did under 700 was that go home show heading into Dynasty.
Yeah, I don't think you need a 30-minute overrun. That's way too much.
You don't. That's way too much. That's a new show at that point. Yeah, that's too much.
I'm cool with like a 10-minute overrun every week. And that's effectively what they do is about 10 minutes. Like if you go between the because remember Raw used to always have the 5-minute overrun to the point that they even said like it ends at 10:05 or 11:05, whatever it might be. Like I'm fine with a 5 to 10-minute overrun every week. 30 minutes.
Hey, Raw had an overrun this week too. They went beyond 10:30.
Yeah, Triple H was so mad about that. He's like, "Oh, we didn't cut enough stuff."
He's like Roman. Why is Roman showing up 5 minutes left in the show?
The rest of Dynamite here, we had Hikaru Shida and Mina Shirakawa. They had a match. It was better than any women's match at WrestleMania.
It got more time than any women's match.
It did get more time.
I thought this was fine. It was fine. Fine stuff between them. They worked pretty well with each other. I like the finish with Statlander helping out Shida for stopping Mina from hitting her with the kendo stick. And it seemed like commentary was pushing Shida and Statlander being contenders for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. So
sure.
Maybe that's the Double or Nothing title match.
Sure. That's fine. I mean, with Tony being out for as long as she might be out, I don't know how you like extend this story for that long. Like it's a whodunit mystery, and it feels like it's already lost like all its steam.
Yes, it has. It has, because they're not pushing it every week as hard as they could, because the women are being relegated to one match, one backstage segment. That's all the women can get. Last week they switched it up a little bit because the women had one match, a backstage segment, and a in-ring or in front of the fans promo. But they're not going to do that consistently on Dynamite. It seems like Tony refuses to give the woman too much time. He was like, last week was a little bit too much for me, so we're going to go back to the one match, one backstage segment. Even though Tekla killed it last week. But hey, here we are.
Just have Tekla talk every week.
Exactly. Just have Tekla come out and say some crazy stuff, talk about people, talk about dumb bitches, make kids in the crowd be like
just have Tekla talk every week. It's tough with that story because like you can't push it, but so hard because Tony's not going to be back for a while, and so it can't be like at the forefront when you know she's not returning anytime soon. But you could use it to elevate somebody in the meantime, and then when Tony does return looking for revenge, it's like, oh shit, now this person's like the champion. But if Tony's not going to be back for a while, you don't want to shoot that off too quickly that this person is the champion that Tony is returning to battle against.
You know what we need, right? We need Harley Cameron to play the role of Mick Foley trying to find out who ran over Austin.
Oh, we 100% need like a actual detective here, and not just Mina going around like, I think you did it, and just, but that's it. Like that's
Harley makes sense because of the whole segment they did with Harley and Mina being depressed and drinking together. Yeah. And Harley needs something to focus on now that Babes of Wrath is done, now that Chris Statlander doesn't want to team with her or train her, so she becomes a PI Harley. That's what we need. Weekly segments. You could do your one segment that sets up a women's matchup for Collision. You can do your matchup, but then we need 30 to 90 seconds per episode of Harley going backstage doing an investigation on who murdered Tony Stark.
I'm with you on this. I love that idea. Yeah, this is anytime you have a mystery like this, especially one that we think is going to be like an elongated mystery, you need some type of detective for it.
Yeah.
Because that just helps advance and tie things together instead of just Mina trying to be like, I don't trust you. Let's do a match. Oh, I lost this match. What's next? Like, you need someone who can like carry these backstage segments, and Harley is definitely the perfect person for this. So I'm all for that. Brody King beat Lio Rush. Okay.
He says he's him.
Oh my
we
God.
Getting strong. Getting so strong. I love this Leo character. I don't care. Nobody tell me. This Leo character is the best thing that's happened to his career. He's so strong. He's getting so strong.
You know what?
He lifts Brody and he can't lift him.
You know what pissed me off about this Leo character the other week is like Pac being afraid of him last week. I was like, what? Why is Pac like backing down as he's in the corner just talking nonsense? Pac should just kick them in the head. Come on now. This is Pac we're talking about.
I don't know. He's got a lot of things. He's so good. He's been so good.
Here's my issue with it. I think Leo's doing a great job, and I think he's super committed to it and everything, yes. So I give him full credit. I don't think it's leading anywhere. And that's why
it's not. But we're going in the direction it could lead somewhere, because now he's getting Dynamite minutes. This means that it worked on Collision, it's worked on social media, it's worked on YouTube. So Tony sees something in him that he's going to give him Dynamite minutes. We're going down the right path. It's not leading to anything right now, but we're going down the right path of it leading to something.
I hope so.
You're so strong.
I hope that's the case.
That's my moment of Wednesday. He was so strong. And then he tried to lift Brody and he couldn't do it. He's not so strong.
You were saying Leo is the messenger for Swerve's return. Okay. All right. Look, I said this when he started the gimmick, however many months ago. I was like, what he was doing, clearly there was a limitation to it of where Tony saw him, because he was just teaming with Action Andretti, maybe being on ROH, but losing 2-minute matches on Collision at best. And so he does this whole new presentation, and it's like, this has more of a chance to, it might not work, but your options are, let me try something new and something different and take my shot with this, or continue to just do 2-minute tag team matches with Action Andretti. You want to take your shot with something new. I fully respect that. That's why I was on board with this at the beginning. Now I hope it is leading somewhere. I do, because they're giving it time. They're giving him, these aren't squash matches either. These are like 10-minute matches that they are out there doing.
8 minutes off of Brody King, who usually just squashes everybody that he goes in the ring with on an episode of Dynamite.
So they're giving him something with it. I'm always gonna have trouble getting into characters like this. Like, they just don't do anything for me. Like, they don't. So I hope it leads somewhere. I hope it turns out to be something decent. I don't have high expectations for it, mind you. I don't think Lio Rush is going to be like the world champion with this gimmick. I don't know. Maybe he wins. They got 100 million.
I don't know if he wins any title. I just think that if he can, I see the chat talking about when he said it's his house, that could be something leading to Swerve's return. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. That's something. As long as he can get a prominent role on this show and continue being outrageous like he has been as of late, I'm enjoying the character overall.
Does Swerve want to be involved with something like this though? Swerve feel like there's a seriousness to his character. And I feel like most people are looking at this like it's kind of like a laughable little bit that Leo's doing. I could be wrong. I could be misinterpreting how people are viewing the Leo stuff, but I don't feel like anybody's viewing Leo as like this really serious, like, oh yeah, we gotta really prepare for this guy type of thing. People, I think, are looking at Leo like, what is he doing? It's a little weird. It's kind of funny. He's not winning anything. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like this would be something Swerve would want to be involved in.
Never know. He's got rabies was a great chant, I will say. He's got rabies.
See,
I'm here for Blackheart. That's all I can say.
I don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll see what it leads to, if anything. If Swerve wants to be involved, because Swerve does love horror. I get that.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between like the horror and so here's my comparison. Like Bray loves horror. Mm-hmm. Bray had the campiness to his horror, and maybe Swerve sees it the same way. Is like he kind of sees this Leo stuff as kind of campy, and he can kind of play off of it and everything, and that's why he might want to do that. But if they're trying to make this like an actual serious thing, I don't think anybody like actually views it as serious, and so it's tough to like balance that. Now, I trust Swerve. He can actually do a balance there, but I could also see it swinging the other way of like, well, now we really don't take Swerve serious because why is he entertaining this dude who is effectively like Gollum?
He's his dog. He's his Gollum. He's the king, and he's sending out Gollum to send a message.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it leads to, if anything, at this point, because it may lead into nothing. I fully expect it to lead into nothing. Honestly.
Probably not. They probably have no idea where it's supposed to be leading to because they didn't have any plans for Leo Rush. But he's making himself.
Yeah, he is. I give him full marks for that. That he's getting himself TV time. It's working for him. He's getting over to some extent, and hopefully it does lead to something for him because his commitment to it is great. I don't know if it's going to. Samoa Joe is back. He beat Cody Chun in like 2 minutes, and then Hook was at the top of the ramp. Samoa Joe should just punched Hook. Like, what the fuck have you been doing for the past 2 months?
You were supposed to lead the ops while I was gone, and you did nothing with them.
I recruit people because I was Division 1. And I know all about recruiting because I was recruited as a top athlete as well. I'm the leader of the ops now.
Ops. On screen.
My delivery was a little bit better than Hook's, honestly.
Probably. These backstage segments and pre-tapes have not been good with him. This is like I really wanted the best for Hook. I was a real big fan of Hook before he started wrestling. After he started wrestling, I stayed on the bandwagon for about like 2-3 years. But it was like somewhere between the Jericho feud and then joining the ops. No, dude, the Jericho feud, I was like, I don't know if this is working too much. And then they did the Samoa Joe matchup. That was good. That was good. No, that was the Samoa Joe matchup was actually before the Jericho feud. So the Jericho feud is where I started to jump off the bandwagon.
Yeah, this leader of the ops thing, all he's been doing is like Anthony Bowens wants to join. He's taken a month to make a decision on Anthony Bowens. Are you that bad of a talent scout that you can't decide if you want Anthony Bowens?
Well, apparently he needed to wait it for Joe because he said he was going to give Anthony Bowens his answer on Collision, and now Joe's back. So now Joe makes the decision.
Great leadership qualities there, Hook. And it's like Anthony Bowens, no offense to Anthony Bowens, I think he's great, a 5-tool player, but Anthony Bowens doesn't exactly scream like you're adding someone serious to your group here.
Nope. Hey, he's had some good efforts as of late in singles matches against Moxley and Roosh, but yeah.
I'm glad that Joe is back at the very least. I do.
Yeah.
I do always love seeing old Samoa Joe.
And that would be a
then,
great TV matchup for Darby.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was there.
Those two had one of my favorite TV feuds in AEW history.
Yeah, I was there when Darby won the title from Joe. Oh yeah, that was. They've already had some really good TV matches, so I'm all for that. Any bigger dude who Joe can just like toss around like that, and Darby, of course, is Darby. So yeah, that was fantastic. Chris Jericho is aligning with the Hurt Syndicate because it's just business, so now they're gonna face Gates of Agony.
No, because Joe is because Tony is the biggest troll of them all.
Tony we have to do troll. More Hurt Syndicate and Ricochet stuff because we didn't get enough of that.
It's one that, and two, the whole MVP and Jericho backstage controversy.
Oh yeah.
I knew when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, he's making reference to their whole beef." That I
don't think that's Tony troll. I think that's Jericho, like, kind of pitching this kind of stuff of like, "Hey, you know what the internet thinks? It's like, let's do this instead," because they did the same thing with I mean, they kind of did it more on the vlogs, but MVP and Speedball, like they did that stuff on television. Yeah, I think this is more of Jericho pitching this stuff. My favorite part about this is I've said that Jericho is basically doing like his WWE bit of like what he would do if he went back to WWE. And so what does he do? Align himself with WWE guys as his first alignment. He's like, what would I do if I were in WWE? I would do the list. I would have a one-word catchphrase to get over. I would be a babyface, and I would work with WWE guy. Who's in WWE? Oh, the Hurt Syndicate. They're all WWE guys. It's a WWE gimmick, effectively.
And I'm feuding with former WWE guy Ricochet. So yeah, this is Jericho being Jericho.
Jericho just pretending he is just back in WWE. But he, of course, can't say he's in WWE, but that's like the only people he's working with. He should have been like, who are these guys? When did Roman bring in new talent?
When did Roman bring in his other cousins? How are you related to him? But yeah, I don't mind this whole Jericho return, and I didn't mind last night mainly because it wasn't in front of the fans. Because if they did another in front of the fans segment, I was going to be like, we're really wasting this much time on it. But altogether, between the two segments that he had on the show, it was about like 5 minutes. I can deal with that amount of Jericho on my screen.
Yeah.
And it sets up something for Collision, where I think that Jericho should find a nice home on Collision. I don't mind him on Collision.
Hater. I need Chris Jericho on Dynamite way more. He should have opened this show. Good. He should face Darby.
I'm good.
He should face Darby for the title.
I'm good on that, man. I'm good on that.
That was all of Dynamite, right? I didn't miss anything.
There was the Cope challenge because we
kind of referenced that.
We kind of referenced that. Brody issued the challenge to Darby for next week for the AEW World Championship, and Darby would accept after the win over Ciampa. So that's next week's main event. So we got Kevin Knight and MJF for the TNT Championship, and Darby Allin versus Brody King for the AEW World Championship. So it's looking like it's going to be a good show next week. Yeah. Still waiting. They need some follow up on Kenny Omega. I want Kenny to be back into the swing of things. Maybe they have written off Kenny for this pay-per-view cycle. I don't know. We'll see next week. Next week should be a better barometer if Kenny is going to be a part of Double or Nothing or not.
What was your moment of Wednesday, SP3?
He's getting stronger. He's so strong. Nah, I'll give it to Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa's amazing main event to last night's show.
I'm gonna give it to myself for booking the end of that Will Ospreay match and for being listened to as I should be every single week on this show. I'll give slight credit to Will Ospreay, and I'll give slight credit to Tony Khan, who clearly listened to me and booked the end of that match and did not have Will Ospreay be a full-on Superman and put over the gravity that a pile driver on the apron to a man that has undergone neck surgery and says he has no neck should lead to a finish and not immediately get up and then win the match. Thank you, me.
You're not
Barry
welcome.
Horowitz.
Mikey, I'm confused. Please explain. He says, did we talk about Persephone? We did. We talked about her being on the show, and she's teaming up with Windsor against Tekla and Sky Blue on Collision. And can we get some contract clarity for her? Well, it's already been confirmed by reports, apparently, that she signed her dual deal with CMLL and AEW that expires probably at the end of the year, beginning of next year, and WWE has interest in her. Those are the things that's the clarity that we had that was in the report. I don't know what other clarity you need. So if you want to explain that, you can.
You're free to explain that, Mikey, and we'll circle back around if there were any other questions to it. I don't know if Persephone's going to resign. I don't know how long her deal is there for. Like they just announced it, so
it said at like the end of the year.
Okay, all right. I've been waiting all show to use this banner. SP3, since the powers that be made us talk about basketball in the final segment instead of the first segment. Kevin Durant has not won a playoff game in 3 years, folks. Get this bum-ass loser off the court. Get him out of here. He wanted to go to Houston. Oh, I want to go to look at this team. Houston, they got such a great defense. I could be the missing piece to this team and win in big moments for them with their offense. Look at Thompson and Sengun. And this is going to be so great. Ime Iguodala. Ime Doka is a great coach. Yeah, I want to go to Houston. This is going to be so fantastic. You didn't even let me
get off best matches. You really wanted to say this.
Well, we'll do best matches at the end. Get this bum loser off the court. Play in this Lakers team. No offense to your Lakers, SP3.
Man, this shit. I know you want to rip apart Kevin Durant, but we should really just be praising LeBron James. And
100%.
This series might be the greatest argument to him being the GOAT.
100%. I will praise LeBron James here in a second, but yes, I'm gonna rip Kevin Durant first. He's been in the league, 20 years, 19 years. How can he not read a double team? He can't read a double team? 20 years into the league? You can't tell when two guys are coming at you? You can't feel when the extra help is coming? You can't make a simple little side pass there? 20 years in the league and you can't do this? What? Get out of here with all this greatest of all time. Ain't won nothing unless you were with Steph Curry. Ain't won a playoff game in 3 years now. 7 straight playoffs. You got double swept nearly in the playoffs. 7 straight playoff losses and a non-factor at that. Ain't like you can blame your teammates of like, I put up 40. What do you want me to do?
Good first half.
Boy. Let's golf clap.
Second half.
Let's golf clap for everybody who says top 10 player of all time, still one of the top 10 players today, greatest scorer of all time. Let's golf clap because he had 16 points in the first half. Oh, congratulations. What did he do in the second half? Where was he? When was Kevin Durant showing up in the second half when they needed him because they were down 0-1 in the series because he couldn't play in the first game. He was down 0-1 in the series, and they need him to come out here on the road and carry this offense. By the way, that offense, that's some trash offense. It is the playoffs, and you can't score over 95 points? What is this offense?
You want to give yourself credit for calling the Ospreay and booking the Ospreay no-sell. I booked this with the Rockets. I said for the whole year, I was like, They don't have a point guard. This
No,
is a flawed
yeah.
offense, and it's come back to haunt them at the worst time possible.
It is.
You have a great scorer. You have a number one scorer in Kevin Durant.
Allegedly.
You got a great defense. You got a great defense with Thompson and those guys. The perimeter guys are really good, but no point guard, no floor general. You got Kevin Durant bringing up the ball and getting double teamed, and then he has to swing out, and no one can hit shots.
He can't swing it out. He can't make a pass. SP3. He had 9 turnovers. 9 turnovers. He ain't swinging the ball to nobody but the other team or the stands. That's where he's swinging the ball to.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm a
no point guard. Yes,
damn.
I know they got no point. We talked about it all season, how the loss of Fred VanVleet was a big issue for them. I 100% agree. They knew that in September that Fred VanVleet
exactly
was
and
hurt.
this management never addressed it. That's why I
never addressed it.
The big losers of the trade deadline, because they didn't try to even get a point guard. Chris Paul lost his job. I think that Chris Paul could have done a better job than what they got on the court right now. Dennis Schroeder was available. Could have got him. They didn't do nothing.
They didn't want to trade it. They want to trade Tari Eason. They're like, nah, let's keep Tari Eason here. Let's keep Reed Shepherd. Even though clearly Ime hates this guy. He hates Reed Shepherd.
He does. And Kevin Durant hates Reed Shepherd. He was freaking giving him the riot act at a certain point for the shot.
That's because they gotta they have to, yell at somebody there, and Reed Shepherd just happens to be the guy that they gotta yell at. And so that's what they're doing. But I don't put it all on Reed Shepherd. He's not a good defender, clearly, but they need some offense. And Ime's like, well, our defense played great. Like, yeah, no shit. You need some offense here, Ime. And Reed Shepherd can get you some offense, but you're only playing them 10 minutes a game. You don't know how to utilize them in those 10 minutes, because how are you going to play well in 10 minutes? And the other problem is you got Kevin Durant trying to get him the ball. He can't get the ball to nobody. I'm not mad at this, mind you. I have no problem watching the Rockets fail and Kevin Durant fail. I think it's hilarious. This is why, when we talked about the playoffs, like, this is what the Lakers should want. I don't think you want to deal with the Timberwolves. That's an actual good team. I'm not super high on the Timberwolves, but I was like, the Timberwolves actually, they play basketball. They
put a smile on my face. They play some defense at least, but yeah, I think I'm gonna put this out here so everybody can root for the Lakers to finish this job. If the Lakers win this series, I'm bringing back the Sermon.
Oh, that's fair.
Sermon has to come back. It has to come back if we win this series. Y'all will get y'all Sermon here on In the Weeds. An old staple of FMC will come back on In the Weeds. I will do a sermon, and I will do it at the top of the show. I don't care what Joel Pearl says. I will do it at the top of the show, the next show that I'm on. Or I might even come. If it happens before, a Tuesday or Thursday comes around, I'll jump on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and I'll jump on there and I'll say my piece, say my sermon. What if the Lakers lose this series? They were supposed to lose this series. So what if it would just be like, oh yeah, we figured that the Lakers would lose this series. Everybody and their mama had the Rockets. We lost our best 2 players. We lost Austin Reeves. We lost Luka Doncic. We're playing with house money right now, and we won. Yeah. And we won at home as well. So,
yeah. Again, this is what I said. I think the Lakers should want this. They should want Houston, because without Luka and Reeves, you can still beat Houston. Because Houston's they got no offense. They grind out games, and they're gonna keep you in it. Houston don't blow anybody out. Oh, that was a much better setup for the Lakers. And full marks to LeBron James. We praised him on Tuesday. This supporting cast is not that great, and he is
the
out
supporting
there.
cast has stepped up, and this is
They 100%
you gotta give
have.
credit to JJ Redick is really the person who should get a lot of the credit for all of this, because whenever the role players step up to this level, like they have done in the first 2 games, it all goes down to a coach. And this was a guy that when he came, I remember me and you were kind of questioning the JJ Redick decision, because he was a guy that had no coaching experience, was just basically got his job because he did a podcast with LeBron James, but he's come in and he has succeeded and exceeded all expectations. 2 50-win seasons, and then he came into the series with a great game plan. They did what they had to do with no Kevin Durant on the floor in game 1, and then he came in, he doubled Kevin Durant at the right time. They shut him down after he had a good first half in the second half of the game, and the role players have stepped up significantly. You got Rui Hachimura dropping 5 threes, 5 of 10 from 3-point line in game 2. You got Marcus Smart, who I've been saying all season long was the 4th best player on this team, coming out and dropping 25 points on the Houston Rockets. 25 points. You would have thought that was Austin Reeves. No, it was Marcus Smart, who's playing some of the best defense on the whole entire team. You have DeAndre Ayton. He's actually showing some energy on the court, showing some hustle plays. You got Marcus Smart jumping on loose balls. Luke Kennard is looking like a 3-point assassin. Like his name is Klay Thompson. He's one of the best 3-point shooters that the Lakers have had in the last decade, I think, because of how well he can shoot the ball and the high efficiency that he has. Everybody's playing well, but it all starts and stops with LeBron James. This is something that he did back in, like we were kind of debating about the different teams that he's dragged to the NBA finals, and this is on the level of that 2007 team when he was with Antoine Jameson and Larry Hughes, and in 2018 when he had a kind of semi going into wash mode, Kevin Love in the playoffs after he had a good regular season, and then everybody else was kind of J.R. Smith making messed up plays that cost them the NBA finals and stuff like that. But this team, he is really just, he's so, like, the one thing that LeBron James doesn't get enough credit for is his adaptability. He's just played so many different roles for the Los Angeles Lakers throughout this season. You got Luka Doncic in the month of March averaging 40 points. You got LeBron James putting up triple doubles. If Austin Reeves was doing his thing and it's just Austin Reeves and LeBron James on the court, he's kind of letting Austin Reeves do his thing, and he's dropping his 30 points and rebounding very well, facilitating the ball when he has to. He's played center at certain times during this season, and then in game 1 he played more of the Magic Johnson type of game, just being the facilitator, being the floor general, not having to put up too many points. And then in this game, 41 years old, he's dropping twisting dunks, he's dunking on folks, dropping 25. Man, come on, man. LeBron James, I still Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Don't get it twisted. The GOAT is about highest peak, but I don't think there's ever been anybody who's had this longevity in NBA history, in sports history. Like the people that, like, especially in competitive sports, it's like him and Tom Brady, and then you got to go into like tennis and golf and stuff like that. It's just those two guys. But I think that LeBron James has even eclipsed Tom Brady as far as what he's been able to do at age 41, his 23rd year in the season. It's quite astonishing. I've never seen anything like what LeBron James has been able to do this season.
LeBron has been a complete revelation this season, because he looked and look, he had sciatica to deal with everything to start this season. He looked pretty washed to start the year. Let's be honest. He looked pretty washed to start the year. Look, the Tom Brady stuff is tough to me. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl at 43. All right, like that man was still winning at the highest level at 43, and he was right there for the next 2 seasons. Like it's football. It can't be all on him, but he was still right there for the next 2 seasons. But what LeBron's doing is still at this level, at this age, is still amazing. I'm always going to side with Jordan. But when it comes to like, you can't just deny everything LeBron has accomplished and the longevity of everything. He's gonna hold like every record there is to hold. The only knock on LeBron, truthfully, is he just doesn't have the championships. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the knock, is he doesn't have the championships that Jordan has. If he had 6, people would say he's better than Jordan. He just doesn't have 6.
Oh yeah.
That's what it comes down to. But look, full credit to LeBron. He's completely destroyed this alleged great Houston defense, and full discredit to Kevin Durant. He sucks, and he's dragged down Houston, which is funny to me. It's hilarious.
No, yeah. Tough break for him.
He wanted it. He picks all these teams he wants to go to. Oh, I want to go to the Nets. What happened? Oh, I want to go to the Suns. What happened? Oh, I want to go to Houston. What's happening? Maybe he should look in the mirror. Maybe he should stop being on all these burners and blaming everybody else. Maybe it's on him, you know? Maybe it just is. That's all I'm saying.
Can't say you're wrong. Y'all look like you're all on the way to a sweep. Thunder picking up another win, 2-0.
Dub got hurt last night. Hamstring again. That's a little unfortunate. Like, I think we'll be all right against Phoenix. We're better. We're better than Phoenix. So I think without Dub, we'll be okay against Phoenix. But second round is gonna be tough without Dub. We'll see. Hopefully he'll be okay. He'll be all right. Chet was great last night. Second option Chet in the building last night. So he was great. Shea is Shea, and the rest of the defense is there, and yeah, we're beating them. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got this. That seems like a sweep for y'all.
Yeah. The Spurs. There's no update on Wemby. It feels like, I'm sure you saw that fall. That looked terrible. That looked really terrible for Wemby. That was clear. I mean, he was in concussion protocol. He got knocked out. Like, he got straight up.
That looked rough.
Out. Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna play. I imagine he's gonna miss tomorrow's game. I think it's kind of malpractice if he plays in tomorrow's game. Honestly, the next game they have is going to be Sunday. We'll see, but it's going to be. I don't think the Blazers are great. I think the Spurs can beat them even without Wemby. But if the Blazers can win the next game or two without, if the Blazers can win the next game or two, then they might be able to potentially upset the Spurs if Wemby can't come back.
They went 1-1, and I said this at the beginning of the series, that the Blazers have the type of team that's versatile and deep, that they will be able to probably like compete with them. And if you don't have a Wemby out there, that kind of makes their job a little easier, even though the Spurs have shown that they could play well without Wemby. They're 10-6 in the season, during the regular season, without Wemby. So I wouldn't say that it's a foregone conclusion that the Blazers will win those games, but it does make their job a little easier.
Yeah, but look, they were up big against the Spurs, or against the Blazers last game after Wemby got hurt, and then they blew that lead in the fourth quarter. They have like 12 with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth, and then the Blazers ended up coming back. Scoot Henderson was fantastic in that game, down all game really, but especially down the stretch. The Blazers can win potentially. The Blazers can win potentially. SP3 has to step away. The Blazers can win without Wemby being there, and they might only need to win again the next 2 games without Wemby. They're up 3-1. You force them to make a decision for game 4 or game 5, I should say, and go from there. I still think the Spurs can come back down 3-1 if Wemby is back, depending on how he looks. Now, if he's like all out of sorts, different story. To SP3's point on the Spurs being 10-6 without him during the regular season playoffs, two different things. I don't put too much stock into how well they did in the regular season without Wemby, because you're playing different teams. You might not be playing as good of teams. Teams are going to, the game planning is completely different as well. Like the Blazers will have a much more solid game plan. Like, oh, they don't have Wemby for this. Okay, well, here's how we're going to attack. Here's how we're going to adjust, type of thing. So it's a little bit different playing in the regular season compared to the playoffs when it comes to playing without a star of that level. And somebody mentioned Jrue Holiday. And the Blazers got guys like Jrue Holiday, like Jeremy Grant, who have been through these battles, like Robert Williams, who have been through. I mean, he was great in game 2. Like they got these battle-tested guys out there, and that can be difficult when you are a young Spurs team and you don't have the guy on the caliber of Wemby, because they're still a good team. Don't get me wrong, but when you're missing a top,
I don't think they should play along. They should play with the concussion protocol, because that drop he took was really bad.
It looked terrible. Like he was completely knocked out. Like he double tapped on that floor. I don't think, like, I'm a little cynical on this in that, do I think like they would rush him back because this is a good chance for them to potentially win an NBA title, and you got to get through the first round if you want to get to the second round? Yes. Like the cynical part of me is like, yeah, of course they're just gonna play him. Like, why wouldn't they? But there's the smarter side of me of like, why are you going to risk this 21-year-old with a concussion and play him this early in his career, and then something terrible happens to him? Like he could just get hit in the head with the ball, and all of a sudden, like, there's another concussion, and now like it becomes easier and easier. Like you can't, playing with concussions is not a smart practice. Like you gotta let that guy heal how he needs to heal. And he's a big dude. He has the slender frame. He's gonna probably take more falls and stuff. You know, basketball players get hit in the head, unfortunately. And you don't want it to be something where every time he gets tapped in the head, he gets a concussion, and just like he's just never quite the same guy because of these concussion issues. So I would hope they would be smart with him and not play him, even though it could be detrimental to their title hopes this year. But you got to also think big picture when it comes to this stuff. And I'd say the same thing about OKC and Dub. Like I think that, you know, his hamstring injury, I don't know how bad it is, but he missed a lot of time with various hamstring issues throughout the season. Would I like him to be back sooner rather than later to try to help us win a title? Yes, 100%. But he's a 24-year-old who has hopefully at least another 10 years left in the league. I would rather him be healthy for these next 10 years than put him out there too early and risk an Achilles injury or an ACL injury, and then his whole career is screwed up. Like it's a tough balance, but I prefer teams to be on the side of caution instead of the side of let's try to win this season.
Yeah, it's really going to depend, I think, on the result of the next game and how well they're able to play without Wemby, how they're going to go about kind of bringing him back into play. So hopefully it's not a serious concussion and that we can see him back maybe sometime in the series, or at least in the next series if they're able to get by the Portland Trailblazers. But it has kind of changed the whole dynamic of this series, where it's 1-1 and now it's basically a whole new series and it's a best of 5.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens on Friday. I don't imagine he'll play next game.
No.
Yeah, protocol is 48 hours, and then you got to hit like certain benchmarks. There is, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, there is a way, or there is a very slight possibility to him playing on Friday. Very, very slight. Like, it would have to be his concussion tests were were basically like the greatest of all time and something
pass with flying colors type of thing.
Yeah, like an anomaly type of thing that he would that he passed in this way this quickly. So I don't think it's going to happen that he's back for tomorrow's game, but it's not completely ruled out that he is back, because if the game was tonight, there'd be zero possibility that he could play. But because the game's tomorrow, there's a slight possibility that he could play. Yeah, I fully agree. Like, it would warrant an investigation if he came back tomorrow. I agree with that. I feel like for most people, it seems like they think game 5 would be the earliest that he returns.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
And then it just depends on, if he is ready to go with for game 5. Yeah, flying could be a problem. That is true. Like, the game was in San Antonio, they're now in Portland. Yeah, he would have to get on a plane, and like, how does that work? Yeah, I think it would warrant an investigation too if he came back tomorrow. Yeah, I would say game 5 would be the absolute earliest he comes back, but of course we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Over in the East, the top 2 series are 1-1. Sixers picked up a victory, and we talked a little about the Hawks game last time where the Knicks completely choked that away. But the Sixers win.
VJ Max looking like the new hot duo in Philadelphia. Even without Embiid, they stole one in Boston.
Yeah. Hey, good on them that they were able to get that one. Boston in the playoffs, they always just kind of do this, right? Like, they always just have games where it's like, what? How did they lose that game? What happened there? I mean, that's what happened to them almost the entire series against the Knicks. People are like, how are they losing any of these games? So they just kind of do this in the playoffs. I still think they'll come and they'll win this series, but that was a tough loss for them.
The bigger surprise was the Orlando series with Orlando that win. But
they got run off the floor last night, though.
Yeah.
I think that felt like a fraudulent win for Orlando. Good win, but it felt like it was like, oh, we got this one, and now Detroit's like, okay, y'all really good.
Really,
like,
I think we'll really see when if Detroit can get one in Orlando.
I think they'll get 2 in Orlando.
Is the you've experience, or is it a fraudulent win for Orlando in game 1?
I think they'll get 2 in Orlando, honestly.
You think they're sweeping Orlando? Do you think they're gentlemen sweeping Orlando now?
Yeah, kind of do.
I can see that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from the NBA? People saying NFL drafter tonight. Yes, I'm not super big on the NFL. I know SP3 isn't fully either. So hopefully every team has fun.
Hopefully all teams play hard. I was.
Hopefully everybody gets their picks in.
I am right so far with my picks for the award, the end of year awards. I called Wemby winning Defensive Player of the Year. I called Keldon Johnson winning Sixth Man of the Year. So far, I'm 2 for 2. Let's see if Shea wins Clutch Player and MVP.
Oh, he already won. Clutch Player.
Oh, so he won Clutch Player. So I'm 3 for 3 actually. Yeah. I'm 3 for 3. So let's see if he wins MVP. What was the other ones I had? Joe Mazzulla for Coach of the Year. And then I forget what other awards there are. Oh, Rookie of the Year, I had Cooper Flagg because of the last month of the season, really. I had Conca Nipple for like up until like mid-March. But the last month of the season really put Cooper ahead of him. So I went with Cooper Flagg. And then most improved, I think I went with Jalen Duren for that. So let's see if he wins that.
All right. Matches of the week. SP3. It's a big week.
Yeah, it's a big week. WrestleMania week. All that went down in Las Vegas. AEW had a bunch of great matches between Collision as well as Dynamite last night. So I do have 2 honorable mentions. My 2 honorable mentions are going to go to Athena versus Rena from the Stardom show, Stardom American Dream. Great matchup. Rena is the future, only 19 years old. She's going to be so good. We're going to talk about her as one of the best wrestlers in the world in like a year or two. and Seth Rollins versus Gunther, which was the best matchup from WrestleMania Night 1, but I didn't want to give WrestleMania Night 1 any type of recognition actually being on the list, so it's only an honorable mention. Number 10 goes to Invisible Man versus the Sandman. Invisible Man, Sandman, the epic conclusion of Sandman's career, one of the greatest matches of Sandman's career. It's a spectacle unlike any other. So good. Gave it 4.25 stars. It was just close. I think if Sandman wins his final matchup, it's a 5-star match. Then we got Brody Jr. versus Joey Janela from Joey Janela's Spring Break. I gave that 4.25 stars. Just an excellent performance by both men. Brody Lee Jr., only 14 years old, and he looks so good. He's just so good. He has the wrestling, the timing, and just all the tributes to the different mentors that he's had throughout his career, different idols like the Sister Abigail, the Discus Lariat. Honestly, I felt like the Discus Lariat should have won it, but he also paid tribute to Natty Neidhart and TJ Wilson with the sharpshooter at the end. But Joey Janela, this is his masterpiece. This is one of the best performances of Joey Janela's career, making your opponent look like $100, being the consummate heel who basically made everything that Brody did mattered in this matchup and had that great payoff, and then the emotional ending at the end. That made Joey Janela's Spring Break my favorite show of WrestleMania week overall. Number 8, I went with the Young Bucks versus the Rascals from Collision Spring Breakthrough. Just an awesome matchup that I don't think a lot of people have been talking about from this past week, but nonstop action. Two of the best tag teams in the world going at it. Another Myron Reed showcase, who I feel has been the best of the Rascals since signing with AEW, because he's finally getting the spotlight that he's always deserved, and he's looked great, and he had a great performance in this matchup. Number 7, I went with Sol Ruca versus Zarya, the last woman standing matchup from NXT. Last spot notwithstanding, it was a great matchup leading up to that, and I hope that Sol Ruca is going to be okay after just getting called up. But this matchup, it felt like a PLE worthy matchup for Sol Ruca's finale on NXT. Number 6, I went with Mark Davis versus Ospreay from last night's Dynamite. We talked about it before. Excellent matchup there. Then I went number 5, the IC title ladder match from WrestleMania Night 2. Just a bonkers matchup. Javon Evans with the OG cutter across the ring, the Mexican Destroyer to JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio coming off a rib injury doing sentons into ladder bridges. This was just insane. It was so much better. I had high expectations for it, but it was so much better than it had any right to be. I gave that 4.5 stars. Also gave 4.5 stars to Bandito and Amazing Red at number 4 from the HOG Culture Class show. This was just X Division greatness. It felt like a mid-2000s, mid-2010s X Division matchup with Amazing Red turning back the clock, putting his body on the line. That Code Red out of the 21-plex, chef's kiss. Number 3, Blue Panther versus Ultimo Guerrero. Yes, the old heads had one of the best matches of the entire WrestleMania week. Blue Panther is doing things at 65 years old that my old ass at 37 years old cannot do. He is a medical marvel, and you need to see him to believe him. 65 years old. I can't get over it. These guys are together are 119 years old, doing things that guys like are 2 decades younger than them can't do in the ring, and they had that crowd on fire at Slamfest. Number 2, any other week this would be number 1, but last night, Darby Allin versus Tommaso Ciampa, the main event of AEW Dynamite. That is the way you kick off a title reign, and you shut up a lot of naysayers. I heard a lot of people complain about Darby Allin winning the title last week. A lot of those people are like, I kind of have to rethink it, because if he's going to deliver this type of fire on a regular Wednesday, he might be the right choice to be AEW World Champion. And it really has solidified what me and Jimmy McAram have been saying for about 2+ years now. Darby Allin is not just one of the best wrestlers in the world today, like top 10, top 15 type guy. He's probably one of the very best TV wrestlers of all time. argue with your mama, but the quality that he's put on in the last 7 years on television is unreal. And he put up another gem, and Tommaso Ciampa is looking like the best free agent signing in all of wrestling. But number one this week has to be Roman Reigns, CM Punk, the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. Amazing matchup, incredible stuff from these two men. The hatred, the emotion, the drama. You did not know who was going to win. It could go either way. The ending that paid off. One of what I thought was the worst lines of the whole entire build up to WrestleMania of "you're old" and stuff. They actually paid it off in the story that they told in the matchup. So it made me shut up about my complaint. Number one is the one. And we got the head of the table theme back, Jeremy. And we got the head of the table theme back, baby. The better theme. Everything I could have wanted from this matchup, it has to be number one. 5-star matchup. The WWE's first 5-star match of 2026.
You had Sandman and Invisible Man too low. That was the matchup.
I had it on the list, though.
Yeah,
I had it on the
way
list.
too
Though.
low.
I adjusted my list. Just to please all of y'all, because I knew y'all loved it. So just to please,
because it was great. It was the match of the year. You don't have to do it to please us. You should do it because it was fantastic.
I want to say all of that. I have at least 27 matches I've had of it. Probably more. It's probably more because I have a lot of matches already on my doc that I put down my star ratings on. But it is in the 4 1/4 doc. It's in the top half of the doc. I only put down my ratings for anything that got 3.5 stars or higher. If it gets lower than that, I probably don't even jot it down.
Match of the year was Sandman and Invisible Man. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Results of our poll question: did the Death Riders save or kidnap Will Ospreay? 58% believes they saved Will Ospreay. 42% believes they kidnapped Will Ospreay. We'll know next week if they are waterboarding him or if they are having him watch Zack Sabre Jr. matches. That'll be our answer.
Both. It should be both. And the late grads, I think you're being a little too harsh to WWE. They had one 5-star matchup last year. That was Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. In 2024, they had like 2. I think Cody and Roman WrestleMania 40 is a 5-star matchup. And I think that the Hell in a Cell with Drew and Punk is a 5-star match. But I will say Roman and Punk is better than all those matches I just mentioned.
Okay. No, I mean, I don't disagree when it comes to Roman and Punk on that. All right. What did we accomplish today, SP3?
We accomplished a lot. We talked about the musical stylings of Ye, just to piss off the guy who told us not to talk about basketball in the first 10 minutes of the show. We also talked about basketball to close the show and talked about my Los Angeles Lakers taking these fools to school. Cody and AJ Styles is not a 5-star match. I don't care what Dave Meltzer tells you. It was a great crowd. It's not a 5-star match. But I'm sorry, I had to address that. But we had that. We talked about that, and we talked about a very good episode of AEW Dynamite last night, with a TV match of the year candidate with Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa, and the booking stylings of Jeremy Lambert helping Ospreay and Mark Davis to have one of the most creative finishes of the year.
That's right. And that is the biggest thing we accomplished today. Is I was correct. I have been listened to. I have been heard. But you know what? Actually, SP3, that was my moment of Wednesday, so I won't continue to pat myself on the back. You know what the biggest thing that we accomplished today, SP3? You know what the biggest thing that we've accomplished over the last 3 years of this show? Because we've been doing this show for 3 years now. Us and Kevin Durant have won the same amount of playoff games since this show has started. That is the biggest thing that we have accomplished today and for 3 years. We have the same amount of playoff wins as Kevin Durant.
And we're WrestleMania Night 2 guys. We're WrestleMania Sunday type of N-words. Like Cameron would say. Cameron's awesome. That promo, 5-star promo.
Night of Champions is still in Saudi. I don't know why anybody thought that was going to be different. It's not good, don't get me wrong, but never thought that was going to change. This is what they do. That's it.
This is what they do.
This is what they do.
They getting paid what? What is it, like $25, $50 million dollars? Yeah, they're getting paid all that money. They don't care about safety precautions. Hey, ask them how about that security for the WrestleMania hotels if they care about security measures.
Yeah, really. Where can they find you at SP3?
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, myself, over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. I will be live at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Jimmy Macaram reviewing last night's AEW Dynamite. As always, if you think I enjoyed AEW Dynamite, I did, which means that Jimmy didn't. So join us as we argue about the quality of AEW Dynamite as per usual. He probably did enjoy Darby and Ciampa, so at least there's that. But he probably didn't enjoy Ospreay and Mark Davis. So we'll argue about that. Join us live for that. Tomorrow on the channel on True Hill Heat, we got the Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom preview. It'll be myself and Scott E. Wrestling discussing that. And then Saturday's flagship podcast, we are celebrating our 8-year anniversary on YouTube. It's been 8 years since me and the fellas started the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. Top Guy JJ will be on the show with me and the True Jaw Josh. That's at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're rewatching my 5-star classes, my 7-star classic from 2018, the first video that we've ever had on our YouTube channel, me versus Baby Seth at Roman Mania. Check it out. We're going to be rewatching it so you can watch it with us.
There you go. Appreciate
you can see it on the True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. Like True Heel, like it says here, Jero J. Yeah, you could True Heel Heat Wrestling. That's where we're doing our Stardom preview with the expert when it comes to Joshi Wrestling, Scott E. Wrestling.
There you go. SP3, appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Myself and Joel. He's gonna force me to talk about TNA. It's gonna suck, but that's what I'm gonna have to do. Why
does he put himself through that? I don't understand.
And then he complains about it because he's like, oh, you know? Money and stuff. It's like, all right, CM Punk, go to Saudi then, you know? Talk to everybody tomorrow. Bye, everyone.